Here we go with essay exam magic. All the secrets to earning A's will be given to you, and you alone. Do not share them with anyone else.
There once was a magician, an alchemist, who despaired of finding secret formulas. He tried to turn lead into gold. Didn't work. Finally, he zeroed in on trying to find the secret formula for essay exam success. After laboring around the clock for the secret formulas, mixing chemicals day and night, finally, at long last, he found the secret formula for essay exam success.
Be assured that's not actual wine. He's using a Hollywood prop. Oh, how do you turn a D or a C into an A? Well, that is not just magic. It's pretty simple to do. Yeah, that C became an A, and you can do the same thing.
What are the first words that come to mind when you think of essay exam?
I'm in trouble.
Well, this is a typical attitude, but that's not the one you want to have. You want to have a positive, assertive type of attitude, so that's what the little wizard is telling you. And you can develop that even though, you can say, well, I'm a psych tech major, and this is not my cup of tea, but it can be. It's just a matter of learning the techniques.
Ha! We do not fear Americans. They cannot even write decent essay exam, most of them.
We don't want to hear from him. He's out of the picture. He's gone. And I'm pretty sure he's not in some sort of place with a bunch of virgins, because they couldn't stand him either. Now you can fake it, especially online.
Yes! 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 Oh! Oh, yes! 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 Oh! Yes! 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 Oh! 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 Oh, God! Oh.
I don't know how that got in there, but I was listening to this the other day, and my wife said, "What are you watching in there?" In any case, the whole deal is, yeah, online, of course, you could get into the books and so on, but what you're going to come out with is probably just a bunch of mishmash thrown together, unless you actually study the material, synthesize it, and make it, well, sort of part of your wiring. Lecture, discussion, handouts, and sometimes your own experience. True, not in a social history class, probably, but certainly it can be integrated in some of the types of essays you might write in an English class. And by the way, there isn't all that much difference. Well, bring them together. So there's your notes. There's that fool lecturing, and there is the symbol of the material in a text form.
Come together right now over me.
Shameless ripoff of the Beatles. But the idea is to bring them together. Synthesize them. Hey, he was cleared of charges. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Form study groups. You can do this online, and you can do this personally. And it really actually helps to share the pain, I think. So what do? Look, use the words in the question and immediately formulate a thesis. It may not be profound, but that's not what we're looking for. This is efficiency. This is hammering it out. This is getting the evidence down that shows you know the material. So you want to do this kind of preparation quickly, right? Read all the instructions. Do this first. I find students oftentimes will answer 5 questions when the instructions ask for 1. Because they're in overdrive starting out. I do understand that. You can do this in class. Obviously, you can't always for out of class. Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. How'd this get in here? Hey, this is a type of question you might actually see on a test. Oh, the little wizard broke into the test bank. He hacked the tests and dragged out a question that, wow, it looks like an actual question that you would see on the... I got to get out of here. I can't have you look at that. Oh my gosh. What is up with this? Well, anyway, underline keywords in the question. You can even take the question and turn it 360 into a statement. And it's not cheating. You can borrow those words. It's not plagiarism. Call it inconsistent. But it's perfectly legal and, in fact, desirable. So read the instructions, underline keywords. You can do this right away. So, oh, wait a minute. Now, I hope he's not... he did it again. He got in and got into the test bank and got a question that could be used on a P050 test. There it is. Oh, this is shameless. It's absolutely shameless. Well, let's suppose that was the question. You went through and underlined keywords like rhetoric and define and so on. And this is a thesis you wrote? That's even more shameless. Are you kidding me? How can that be a thesis? It's not even a statement. It's not even a sentence. It's a fragment. Deplorable. And now that guy is not happy. Yeah, it is horrendous. Well, now, maybe something more like that might work. Of course, you wouldn't rip it off, but you get the idea. Oh my goodness, look at that. So really, what's the core of this? Show you know the material, baby, or spare me the trouble. Examples, lots of them. That's the evidence, right? And this isn't a freewheeling situation. It's a formal writing situation. So your audience doesn't want sort of off the top of your head attempts at cleverness. I mean, there's a time and place for that, for sure. I'm doing it right now, but that's not really essay exam appropriate. Now, these are forms of pre-writing that you could certainly use if you feel like you have enough time to do it. But in a lot of cases, it's more appropriate to save those for out-of-class situations. So this is a major concern. Are you losing your identity and being swallowed up by the information? Is the information using you instead of the other way around? And we tend to be sometimes almost machine-like in college education and just basically spit back information. Well, that's not really you, but you get the idea. You are separate from this, the text. So how do you make sure that you keep yourself separated? Well, if you did this sort of thing, you wouldn't be, right? I mean, if you just plug this into your essay, because that's right from the Joseph Kelly book on stories, The Seagull Reader. And it's his words, the editor's actual words in his preface. And that's not you. Remember, you are you. You don't want to lose your identity and integrity, really, by being swallowed up by the material. You want to distance yourself from it. Who knows? Maybe you have a critical comment about it. You're not an automaton. So, what keeps you, you, and the information separate from you? This signal phrase. And there are lots of ways of doing that, as you well know. But it's important to do that. And the use of the quotes, excuse me, is critical here. There we are. What happens without specific examples? Well, this is what happens. This is what happens to your essay. That's right, it comes down in a heap. No substitute for putting those specific examples in. Look at this. This is like brainwashing. Use examples, use examples, use examples. Form of advertising. Okay, pack your body paragraphs with multiple examples, not just one overused example. Scrunch them in there. There they go. Oh, lots of them. And they are packed into that paragraph. That's evidence, right? You're making a claim, then you're making evidence. Then you're providing evidence. And here's something that you can do with an essay, whether it's in or out of class. You know, if you really can't come up with a topic sentence or even a thesis, realize that a lot of us write our points first and our evidence first and then go back and answer this question. What am I trying to prove? And for a topic sentence, that's that claim that's related to your major point, and it's an answer to this. I'm trying to prove this, and that becomes the topic sentence. Just a way of thinking about this. You got those examples. So there they go again. And this is not a formula. I object to those strenuously. It's like training wheels on a bike. You have them for a while, and then you're able to have the skill to go it alone, to use a structure in your own way. Pump it up. Now, you're not always going to be able to do all of this, but this is an essay paragraph taken from a student-written essay that had to do with discussing the description mode. And in this case, the student has integrated an example from the readings and even a further example from the student's own correlations, a Newsweek article. And there it is. That should be brain, not bran. Standard essay form. Yeah, disregard the 101A web. That's irrelevant. So, again, this is not like that horrific situation that occurred some time ago in secondary schools. I don't know if they're still doing it in Porterville. There was this formula method called the Schaefer method. And this person had come up with this formula. We don't want a formula. We want, again, some structure, and this works as a schematic, but only that way, because you can do a blueprint type of intro in this type of writing, wherein you don't have to sweat over the intro. It doesn't have to be highly creative like an out-of-class essay might be. You simply mention the 3 key points you intend to develop, and or fewer, and then you actually go on to develop them, and you support them. And you can have any number of paragraphs as needed. So that's just a way of doing it, not the only way. Good diction, right? That's word choice. Not you, vague words like things. Okay, oops, there it goes. Hey, let's get rid of that stuff in essay exams because it talks down to your audience. Not you should. A person. Student, one, or just skip it all together and no mention of person. That works. Oh, there he goes again. Echo words, what does that mean? Well, you might repeat an individual word, like a refrain in a song, to keep you on track in the audience, and it's not necessarily considered redundant. Here the word desire is repeated, almost like a refrain in an essay having to do with Emily Grierson from Faulkner's A Rose for Emily. Rehearse. So if you already know what the question is likely to be, you can, or questions, you can rehearse it. You can go through it again and again. And you link your sentences together. This is, again, a 101B answer about a story, and the student makes the point in the thesis, but watch what happens. The topic sentences relate to the thesis, and you've got primary evidence within those paragraphs that help support the point. There's your thesis, and your topic sentences pertain to the thesis, right? Very skillful, and you can do it.
And so, having solved the mystery to the riddle of essay exams, the good wizard went back to...
Again, that's a Hollywood prop.
All sorts